A young mother gunned down in front of witnesses in a Target parking lot.
Oh my God!
Now, a killer was on the loose.
I'm at my daughter's funeral, and I have to have police protection.
A bitter divorce led police to the husband. But witnesses described a very different suspect.
He was very small. He had a huge black lump of frizzy hair.
A wife, a mother, and a son caught in a twisted triangle.
Were you worried he might have been involved?
My son has never been anything other than a lover.
A family tragedy and a shocking search for justice.
I think the most shocking thing about this murder was the fact that it happened in plain view of at least a dozen witnesses in broad daylight. Heather Strube was doing a custody exchange with her estranged husband, Stephen Strube. Stephen had dropped off their son Carson. She had put him into his car seat, and as she walked around the other side of the vehicle, she was approached by a wigged figure. They got in a short argument, and she was ultimately shot.
Jack, you go through hundreds of cases. What attracted you to this one?
There's a lot of different ways to commit a murder, and this one fascinated me in particular because I felt psychologically it spoke volumes about the suspect. The brazen nature of this murder, it was almost like a bank robbery and less like a murder. And I think even more shocking than the murder itself was the aftermath of it. This suspect just walks away.
An eyewitness has actually thought it was a male who was at the scene of the crime. Can you tell me a little bit about witness testimony during the trial?
Witness testimony played a very key role in getting a conviction. Everybody agreed that it was a man that they saw commit this murder.
You had mentioned to me there were some other interesting points that you wanted to talk about within the trial itself.
One of the more interesting things about the trial was the testimony of Stephen Strube. For viewers to just how they see it, if they believe the Stephen Strube in the interrogation room or if they believe the Stephen Strube who was on the stand. I'm interested to see the viewers' reactions to that and to see whose side they take. This episode in particular, I think, really puts the viewer in the juror box.
What do you do to prepare for the calls to speak with the families?
I think one of the hardest calls I had to make was to Heather Strube's mother, to talk to her about this case. You don't know what kind of state of mind this person is about the trial, if they just want to forget about it or if they'd like to participate in a documentary like this. Ultimately, after talking to Marianne, I feel that she wanted to participate in this documentary to almost as a cautionary tale to other people out there who might have lost their loved ones in a similar way to the way she lost Heather. Just to send a message that you can go on, that you need to, even though it's a traumatic thing to go through, you need to focus on the living and you need to move forward. And I think that was the real motivation for her to sit down with us and talk to us about this case.